Hello, everybody. This is Dave Drimmie from the Wealthy Wednesday podcast. I'm genuinely, really excited today because all the way from California in America, we've got the amazing Heenle Turner with us. Hello, Heenle. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me, Dave.
Well, listen, delighted you're here. And by the way, I got my hair done specially for you.
Yeah, I can see that. I appreciate it.
So listen, welcome, and folks, listen. I asked Heenle to come and join us because last year, I think it was last year, Heenle, I came on one of your programs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So basically, we'll come to Heenle's background in a minute, but I just want to share with you a program that Heenle's company ran, and it was called "How to Hire." Correct me if I get the title wrong. It's "How to Hire 5-Star Employees." Correct?
That was it.
Awesome. And by the way, folks, it changed the way I've been thinking about and helping my clients recruit talent into their business. I'll just say that, but more on that in a second. But before we get there, Heenle, now, whilst you live in America, you actually, we'll come to your career in a second, but you come from this side of the pond, so to speak, don't you?
I do. I was born in Wembley,
Wow, Wembley in London.
in London.
Fantastic. So how old were you when you moved to America?
3.
Oh, it's all right. So that was about 15 years ago then.
Yeah, just under.
Awesome. Well, listen, Heenle, you've got an amazing career that you've actually had, but could you maybe jump into, give us a little bit of a pathway to how you actually got involved in working with the All In company? You know, just take us through just over the next couple of minutes, just a bit about your journey to where you are now.
Sure. So I started actually not in the path of human resources, but today I do consider myself an human resources HR business professional. I started actually in law school right after college, and I quickly decided that wasn't the path for me, and I started taking courses. And as soon as I started with the human resources class and I learned about sort of the profession and the interaction of how important our human resources are to our businesses and our community out there, it was the perfect match. It was an opportunity for me to work with people, actual humans, but also you know make a positive impact on their lives, as well as have an overlay of a business aspect, to just to the person, to the organization.
So basically, from an early point in your career, you could see that you could impact human beings and create
Right.
impact in the world. Yeah.
Right. And I wanted to do so, but I wanted to do so strategically and with some structure. And that's kind of where I landed into this field. And from there, I started off, as an intern, so I worked for a big organization. And from there, I moved into an HR manager role. And I spent several years of my HR career there, working in-house as an HR professional. And then from there, I moved on to an HR consultant role where I spent about 8 years working with, several hundred businesses in all different industries, varying in size. And from there, I matched up with Danielle and the All In company. And that brings us to last year.
So it strikes me that from an early point in your career that you really you knew the direction you were going to take. And from there, you just gained experience, which has been on a consulting basis, but now you're more, with the All In company, it's very much more an educational basis, or do you, through the All In company, do consulting with companies as well?
So for our clients, we focus primarily on recruiting and hiring 5-star employees. But with that, you find that some of the people in your organization are not 5-star employees, and so we need to bring in that HR consultant element to quickly, effectively, potentially help that person improve or remove that person from the organization. So there is a bit of that HR consultant piece that comes into play with our clients at the All In Company.
That's fantastic. I think it's just amazing, actually. So when I work with, in my role, I work with a lot of business owners who literally have major, major challenges in delegating because they've had the wrong people there before, they've been let down. And as a result, particularly in Q4 last year, speaking to people this side of the year, the amount of people that just needed the Christmas break because they were burnt out running an organization, it's quite frightening, actually. Um, so if I'm hearing you correctly, then basically, not only do you have this pathway to bring in five-star employees, and we'll ask more about that in a second, but you'll prune out the people that are just not pulling the weight or whatever. And by doing so, you're creating a platform to which a business owner can entrust the growth of the business, correct?
Exactly right. We need 5-star employees working in organizations to maximize profit, to keep the momentum going, and to have a successful business.
Outstanding. I love it. And I remember one of the first elements of the course that we went through was it was about the 11 qualities of a five-star employee. And my goodness, unbelievable. So could you maybe unpack a bit more of what a five-star employee is, what is maybe a 1, 2, 3 star, and just can you take us on a little bit of, so imagine I was a client of yours, so the listeners here can actually understand a bit about the process that you go through. If I was a client, how would you help me understand how you can serve me?
Sure. So to answer your question, first and foremost, it's so important to understand what a 5-star employee is. And that goes with in all facets, because you're never going to find a 5-star employee if you don't know what you're looking for. So
Mhm.
our general theme around 5-star employees and is that 5-star employees crave that transparency, they crave results, they crave accountability. So a 5-star employee has meets all 5 stars of the 5-star criteria. First, the 5-star employees core values align with that of the business owners. The 5-star employees score 7 or higher on the 11 universal qualities of 5-star employees. So the 11 universal qualities of 5-star employees is kind of that same DNA that runs through all 5-star employees. Things like they listen, they're limber, and they produce quantifiable results for you. And there's 11 different qualities in total. You're
And
also
just on that point, Heenle, just sorry to interject here,
no, it's
but
fine.
it's a spreadsheet exercise, isn't it? The person
It is
is yes or no, or a number, or thereby. It's not, oh, this person might be a good person sometime in
no,
2040 or whatever. It's yes or no, isn't it?
it is, yeah. So we always look for in our process, we're looking for an objective, application of the 5-star rating system against your employees as well as as applicants who are coming into your pipeline. So you'll be you run through the 11 qualities exercise and identify first with your existing employees, well, does this person have this quality or do they not? So with your existing team, for instance, you can do the quick litmus test, right? You can tell yourself, well, does this person listen? Does this person produce results for me? Does this person have the you know the skill set, which is that 3rd star, for the role? So a very process based system to evaluate your 5-star employees and 5-star candidates.
Outstanding. So that's two of the stars there. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. So you've got first is the core values. The second is the 11. They have to score a 7 or higher on the 11 universal qualities of a 5-star employee. The third is that they have to meet or exceed your scorecard and expectations for the role specific aptitudes and skills. So, a big difference between, saying it and actually doing it, right? Is what a skill is. And aptitudes, right? Every role has a different set of requirements in terms of what that person needs to bring to the table. So it's your responsibility as the business owner to understand what those aptitudes might be and what your minimum expectations are for that. So we guide our clients through this, step by step process to customize this 5-star rating system for their organization and the role, and then they're ready to go and to make that assessment in their recruitment process.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. And the next star?
The next star is a person committed and capable of meeting or exceeding your defined success metrics. So if you're looking, for example, for a salesperson, if you need somebody who's going to close, 90 or let's say 80% of their sales calls, so that should be a defined success metrics that you have, and it should be something that's in your job posting. It should be something you're talking about all the time with your candidate, so that there is a clear expectation of being able to do so, and it's something that you ask about, right? Like, what's your production history, for example, going to that sales role. And then the last star is that the person um, returns has an ROI for you for 3 times return on what you pay for them in a payroll stance.
That, I think, is a metric. I was speaking to somebody last week actually who said, "Oh, we have an office manager, but she doesn't really make us money, but she runs my business." So the business owner didn't really analyze the kind of profit, which clearly this lady has systematized the business, etc. There's no metrics in the owner's head about that. But even if there was somebody who is, for example, on reception,
Hmm.
ordinarily, we may think, oh, well, that person's on reception. It's quite demeaning. But if that person can be given other tasks, like it might deal with this, the social media content or whatever it might be, then you're getting an ROI back. Is that kind of what you're talking about there?
Yeah, for people who for those who don't directly produce a revenue for you, the way that you're going to be able to measure the ROI is by carefully articulating what your success metrics look like for the role. So, for example, for a receptionist, it might be, adding in some administrative responsibilities like responding to emails, at this level. So, 25 a day. It might be something like adding some accounting work to it. So you have to think about what that person in that role can do, and really what the role is capable of. Not so much the individual person, but what you need from that role. And if the person is achieving your metrics that you've set out, then they're also giving you that return on payroll that you need, right?
Perfect.
Because they're doing what you need in order to continue that business forward, so the business can continue to generate.
That's fantastic, actually. And so ultimately, in the end of the day, it's one of the KPIs, key performance indicators, to measure in a business. It's the employee KPI, whatever that might be.
Maybe. Hmm.
Okay. Because ultimately, if we've got everybody in a business that is aligned and has bought into the core values and thus into the culture, then if they're all aligned about making profit, then there's potentially performance related bonuses. And at a time of high inflation, that's obviously going to be valued, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. People love it.
So, so when you talk about core values, a
Mhm.
conversation I was having earlier on today was about culture as well.
Mhm.
Um, but if you've got, from what you're describing, and this is my understanding, when you've got a team of 5-star employees, it's like a winning team. It's like it's like a high octane, you know, NBA basketball team or Premier League team or whatever it might be. People are focused. The core values are aligned. They know where they're going. There's ultimately, I would imagine, there's a strategic plan, which is what I do with all my clients: is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and trends, and core values, vision of where they're going. So it's like an oar in a rowing boat. They're all pulling in the same direction. So,
Exactly.
what's your thoughts about how five-star employees can create, or having five-star employees in a business? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to ask, how do you create a culture that five-star employees would thrive in? That's the best question.
Yeah. So for, for 5-star employees, we know 5-star employees like a lot of the same things. So 5-star employees like to be held accountable. 5-star employees like structure. They like to have consistency. They like to see and understand what success looks like in their role, and they want to be aware of things that are going on as well, like probably from a big picture standpoint, right? And they want to understand, well, here is my role and here is the impact. 5-star employees like to work with other 5-star employees, and that's a big one. So when you have people in your organization who are 1, 2, or 3-star employees, you're also risking a 5-star employee from leaving and finding another course of employment. So you want to you want to make sure you're never settling, and that you're always hiring 5-star employees, and that will create this amazing culture quite easily, because people will recognize their own a bit of themselves in the people that they're around, because the core value alignment is there, and you'll have these specific skill sets that people are going to learn from and learn from each other. And that's another quality of a 5-star employee, is that they love to learn. So you've got to think about what your hiring process looks like, and it kind of goes back to the people in your organization that's going to shape the culture that your organization outputs.
Fantastic. And thus, I would imagine if there's a high element of learning, there needs to be a really strong kind of pathway for growth once they're in that role as well. So they come in at a certain role, but it's a case of going, well, okay, so you're moving from this position, but what do you really want? Oh, I want your seat, So you go, great, fantastic, because people who say that means that hopefully you'll move to the next level as well. Is that correct thinking?
Yeah, I mean that's one avenue of learning. There could also be, an opportunity where somebody is or not an opportunity, but there could be a situation where somebody has this skill set and they're great at it, and there is something beyond that that the person wants to learn about and do better in. So as the business owner, how can you help them? So maybe they want to network, and maybe they want to attend conferences. Maybe they want to increase their education and go back to school and learn more. Maybe they want to improve their writing skills and learn how to, I guess, just write better. Or maybe they want to learn software. So you want to make sure you're helping that person learn. And that could mean various things, and it also could mean that the person wants to grow and improve within the company.
Perfect. So it sounds to me like we need fertile soil in which to plant the seedling that's a five-star employee, so they
Hmm.
can grow and blossom and they can realize their potential. And at the same time, I guess, as they are growing, then the company grows as a result.
Right.
Fantastic! This is so enlightening, and folks, I hope you're getting some real gems from this, because this is just terrific. Um, so if we go back to the step, we know We know we've got the job descriptions. We know the qualities that we actually want. We've got the core values. All those elements. Where do we find these unicorns?
Yeah.
How do we locate now that we know we're looking for five-star employees? It makes them more identifiable. It's very specific. But where on earth do these people come from? Because in almost every industry, when I speak to people, I get the common phrases, "Oh, there's no talent left in our industry."
Mhm.
Help us unpack that a little bit, please.
Sure. I mean, you have to also think, well, what are you doing as a business to cast a wide net? So you can't, the answer is not to rely on one job board. The answer is not just to do one thing. It really is the sum of all things. So yes, you need to post a job and use on multiple job boards. Yes, you may have a referral program where you kind of concentrate in and seeing if you have existing talent who can refer other five-star candidates. But what else can you be doing? And you partner with local schools and universities. Can you be a guest speaker somewhere? Can you look at your business networking groups and potentially find another five-star employee there? So you can't do just one thing, and I think that's a big pitfall that a lot of businesses make is they rely on just one thing and think that that's enough. So you have to kind of do the sum of all things. You always want to be recruiting, and you want to make sure it's very clear that we are thinking outside the box and trying to attract as many applicants as we can, because five-star employees, remember, represent only the top 15% of candidates. So for 21 applicants, you're looking at three potential five-star employees.
Wow. Listen, fantastic advice as well. And a lot of the work I do is very strategic with regard to business growth and sales and just, all the aspects of helping bring oxygen into a business, so to speak. Um, and when I'm speaking to clients, they will take weeks and months and sometimes years to bring on clients. But when somebody leaves, they go, put an advert on Indeed. I need somebody there next week. And for me, that's wrong. I think we all need to be planning for growth, but I also think we need to have a talent pool of people we can reach out to so that we can go, all right, Brian has left, but we've got a relationship with people in other companies who were keen before. So to me, it sounds there's two parallels, if you like. There's the external client we're trying to bring on board, but there's our internal clients bringing on board as well. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, yes, to some of that, I like the idea of, I love the idea of having a kind of a warm candidates who you can bring on, who would potentially be five-star employees who you might bring on or move through your recruitment process. It's just, I think in this market that's a lot harder to do. I think people are not really in the place where they want to wait around and maybe get a job. Like, people are just moving so quickly, and so we do encourage our clients to keep an active posting live kind of all the time, like an evergreen job posting for a role that they typically hire, that they're hired frequently, really. um, and see if a potential five-star candidate kind of comes through the process and is worth considering to bring on board. It's just, you really have to move quickly with these candidates because of the market we are in today.
Got you.
A few years ago, it was a different market. So that type of approach is still solid. I just think it needs to be tweaked a little bit.
Fantastic, actually. And just kind of highlighting that as well, there's zero moment of truth. Um, was literally now people will go onto their iPhone or Android or whatever, and they will check a company out. I think it's 74% of contact is made initially through, looking at digital presence,
Mhm.
um, before they will even reach out to a company. Whereas in years gone by, there were things like yellow pages and all sorts of other stuff where people go, I need a plumber, boom, whatever it might be, A for awesome plumber, right, I'll just phone them and they come round. So marketing and core values being shown on a website and mission and everything like that, does that play a role nowadays in attracting five-star employees?
It does. People are looking to work for organization that they feel have an impact in for them. So something that they find important, something that they connect with, something that they really have an interest in, is more is happening now more than it ever was before. So I find less people are looking just for a job. They want to be satisfied with where they work, and we're realizing that if there is a um, kind of kind of the overarching goals and the purpose of the organization and the kind of work that they're doing, and people want that community, right? So we have our home community with our family, we have our maybe our friends from college and that little community that we're part of. So what's our next community is the community that you have at work. So
Absolutely.
creating that, creating that community and then attracting the right people to join that community is going to be so big for your organization and its growth. And I think people are looking for that.
Listen, I heard recently, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but heard recently that people are leaving organizations because they're looking for a company that has the same core values, i.e., being a pea in the pod, but they're using money as the excuse. Does that sound familiar across in the States?
I could see that, like they're just saying it's a money thing, but it's more of a true core value, like alignment issue, or maybe it's something that to do with the people, or the management. Like I could see that. I could see people saying money as an excuse for everything because it's just simple.
Yeah, very true. It's quite interesting. Last year, I heard about a company who were bought over here in the UK, and without telling the staff, they installed covert CCTV. Unbelievable. And they're wondering why staff are leaving in droves.
Oh, I think
Um,
I've heard of this. Was there a newspaper? There must have been like an article and things about that because that sounds so familiar.
wow. Well, it's pretty horrific, actually, I have to say. But
Wow.
but what's actually happening is they're recruiting people in, but they're paying 20-30% higher over and above the market rate, because people are just joining them because it's just for the money. It's not for the mission. So, profitability has been hampered, to say the least. Then conversely, a couple of weeks ago, I was at a 60th birthday party. I'm 58, but it was a 60th birthday party, and the boyfriend of the daughter that was there had just taken a job, and in 6 months he'd been promoted in a warehouse up to warehouse manager. But it's an American pharmaceutical company, and they encourage their employees to take a 30-minute walk during work hours every single day.
I love that.
There are chefs there. There's 150 employees on site, um, but it's all about mental health, physical health, and nutrition. A happy, healthy workforce adds profit. And this young man, he was 32 years old, and it was brilliant because he said, I've been there 6 months, but I don't want to ever have to leave.
Hmm.
How cool is that, by the way, in today's era and retaining colleagues? I was blown away when I heard that.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's great. I love that.
So fantastic. So, listen, you've been incredibly generous with your time. When it comes to five-star employees, and are there any other gems you might be able to share with me and with people listening to this show?
I would say, as you're thinking about your own recruitment process and your own steps in your process, I would say, take the time to listen. So lots of times, in an interview, somebody will ask a question, like the interviewer will ask a question, and the candidate may need a minute or two, to think about and to formulate a response. So I would say be comfortable with that silence, and let the person answer the question. Try your best not to interrupt. Don't try not to lead. Don't jump in and ruin that silence. Maybe the candidate needs it, or maybe the candidate just doesn't know the answer. Either way, that silence is golden and very telling.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. Again, a golden nugget there for sure. So, and talking about interview process, how many steps in an interview process nowadays should there be, and what might those steps be, do you think?
Yeah, so definitely it certainly can vary, but the steps that we recommend include, of course, an application. We like to see some kind of skills test in there. We also like to see a screening interview, and then another set of interviews that includes, particular questions that will help assess, the person's, qualities, as well as their aptitudes for the role.
Wow, absolutely phenomenal. I carried out a quiz last year, just in Q3 and Q4 actually, and there were 5 elements that people could answer. It's just a 2-minute quiz, but it was strategy, sales, cash flow, hiring five-star employees. I think I put with hiring great employees,
Mhm.
and work-life balance. 39% of respondees said their major challenge was hiring people they could trust.
People that
39%. The next one was work-life balance, but guess what? They're completely interlinked, and then the other 3 were pretty much balanced out against each other. So the importance of what you shared today is huge, because when we get the right team around about us, and as business owners, we are able to entrust, which is a big thing with many people. They don't trust people. If we can entrust, um, o- is delegate our weaknesses to somebody for whom it's their strengths, I think is what I'm trying to say. When we do that, when you've been working with organizations and putting in place five-star employees, and that's happened, how has that affected the revenues and profitability of businesses? Have you been able to see that?
So we're seeing a lot of good trends, like a lot of great people are being hired. We're seeing that they are the right fit for the organization, for our clients. And so that tells us that it is a positive, of course, it's a positive impact, on multiple levels, right? So when you make the hire right the first time, that means you're not needing to turn them around. You're not needing to recruit and hire for that same role again. And you're able to take on more clients because you have more people that you can trust in the roles that you were, looking to fill in the first place. So we have seen that it's positively impact growth. I haven't seen any, but I haven't done any kind of analysis on like specific numbers. That answers your question.
Possibly an unfair question, because you're conducting your role and placing or helping company owners to understand the five-star employee qualities, and then helping them find those people. So you've done your job, but it'd be quite fascinating to go back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
say company A, B, and C were at 1 million, 2 million, and 3 million, and now they're doing 10 million, 15 million, and 20 million. And you've been part of their success story. What an amazing case study that would be for the
Mhm.
all-in company, wouldn't it? Be brilliant.
Absolutely. Love it.
Um, so, listen, thank you so much. You've been so warm and generous and very giving in sharing this amazing information. So abundant, actually. Um, so, so, if somebody would, having listened to this show, is interested in getting in touch with you to understand more about five-star employees, you've got a program. So you've got an education program, but you've also got a consulting program. Could you help us understand a bit more about those two areas, please?
Sure. Yeah. So we do have various programs that we offer to businesses out there. So you can always contact me if you can add my email in your show notes, and people can send me an email and I'll tell them more about it. And then we can for all of our clients there is consulting kind of built into that package. But we can certainly, we'll certainly talk to anyone who has a need, and we can figure out a way to help them, either through our programming or through other type of consulting.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. And just talking about email, so your first name is Heenle. So it's Heenle.
Yes. Yep,
And is it Heenle at theallincompany.com?
that's perfect. That's it.
I got it right. Fantastic. So Heenle, Heenle at theallincompany.com. And
Correct.
just I cannot thank you enough. You've been amazing. And before we part company day, and by the way, it's snowing outside. And in California, what's the temperature at the moment?
Let's see. Right now, it's about 51 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hashtag very jealous. Unbelievable. But before we part company today, if there was one gem or golden nugget that you feel we should have shared today, is there just one little gem that you can, at the end of our conversation today, is there one gem you might feel would be beneficial to people listening?
I would say casting a wide net as possible. So cast a wide net and recruit and capture as many applicants as you can into your hiring process in order to yield yourself enough five-star candidates.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Hino, let's end on that because it's been amazing. I just want to thank you on behalf of myself, my team, and everyone listening to this show. You literally are our first guest in this series, and I'm truly honored to have you on it. Thank you so much. You're an amazing lady.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm honored to be here.
You're outstanding. Take care, and I'll chat soon.